As part of its epoch-making dual listing in the London and Nigerian Stock Exchange, Seplat Petroleum Development Company engaged the capital market in its facts behind the listing. Receiving the group, the CEO of Nigerian Stock Exchange, Mr. Oscar Onyema, described it as a major step for the company to attain a Pan-African status.
It is my pleasure to welcome you all to this historic facts behind the listing of Seplat Petroleum Development Company PLC after a highly successful initial public offering. On behalf of the Council, Management and staff of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, I congratulate the board and management of Seplat Petroleum Development Company PLC to its successful global offer and listing in Nigeria and London. I commend you for making the decision to list this groundbreaking company on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. The exchange made a commitment to facilitate durable wealth creation by listing and nurturing the next group of African champions. That is, companies that are over $1 billion in market capitalization with operations across the continent. We view your listing today as a major step in your journey to becoming an African champion. Today, we celebrate many milestones with this listing. Seplat becomes the first Nigerian company listed on the main market of the LSE and the first pure-play upstream listing on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. We must also note the giant strides made by Seplat in strengthening its corporate governance structure to prepare for its new status as an internationally listed company. The Nigerian Stock Exchange, in recent years, has placed corporate governance on the front burner as one of the basic elements for ensuring a sound investment environment and maximizing shareholder returns. I would like to use this opportunity to appeal to you to replicate this example by continuing to abide by the post-listings requirements of the exchange. We will continue to enforce our rules in a firm and fair manner in order to build a strong investment climate for issuers and market participants. Once again, I commend all parties to the issue, the board and management of Seplat Petroleum Development Company PLC, and the listing, sales and retention department of the exchange on this milestone event. We wish you great success as you embark on this phase of your corporate journey. Thank you very much.
The chairman of Seplat Petroleum Development Company, Dr. Ebisi Ojako, described the listing as the first by an exploration and production company in the Nigerian capital market.
It is with great pleasure that I welcome you all to this momentous occasion, an occasion to welcome you to a global history. The first dual listing of a Nigerian company, both the Nigerian Stock Exchange and the London Stock Exchange. This is the first time an upstream company in the oil and gas sector is being listed, even in the Nigerian Stock Exchange. I'm very happy to say that this is in response to the reform agenda of the President and Commander-in-Chief, Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Mr. Chief Ebele Goodluck Jonathan's administration. Honorable Ministers, kindly convey this very important remark to Mr. President and let him know that this is a great inspiration for very many other things to happen. It is my honor and privilege to also state and put on record that the leadership of the Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Stock Exchange and his Executive and Council, Mr. Oscar Onyema, has actually been the pivotal driver and encouragement for companies like us. Seplat could not have been able to achieve the giant strides without the encouragement and endorsement of the SEC Nigeria under the leadership of Ms. Aroma Ote. We'd like to show appreciation for this. Seplat today is the largest indigenous hydrocarbon oil producing independent company. With the operated production of 60,000 barrels a day of oil and condensate, It is my pleasure to also put on record that indeed it was the approval of the Honorable Minister of Petroleum, who is here with us present today, Dizani Alison Madweke, that gave in July 30, 2010, that made this company hit the ground running, took production of 14,000 barrels a day to a record 60,000 barrels a day.
In her remarks, the Petroleum Minister, Mrs. Dizani Alison Madweke, described the evolution of seplat as a bold statement of the government's commitment to encouraging indigenous participation in the petroleum and exploration sector.
It is clear that the listing on the main board of the London Stock Exchange of the ordinary shares of a Nigerian company for the first time is not only the first ever, it's also the boldest testament of the evolving success of this government's policy on indigenous participation in the oil and gas sector. You will recall that seplat is a creation of two companies, Platform Oil and Shiva. Platform Oil was actually formed as a result of the 2003 marginal bids round. In 2010, seplat was born as a result of the acquisition of divested assets of Shell Petroleum Company Nigeria Limited. And I say this because I hear time and time again, in fact it is in some of the newspapers even today, that whilst the various divestment rounds are going on, that Nigerian companies who have fought and struggled to be a part of these divestments are in some form or the other not equipped or not worthy of that participation. So let me say once again, for the record, that the government of President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan will support all and every Nigerian who has the wherewithal and the drive and the diligence to come into the oil and gas sector and to survive and to stand tall in it. If we were not supporting Nigerians in the manner in which this government is doing that in this sector, we would not have had historically the number of indigenous marketers and operators in not only the upstream, but the midstream and the downstream service sectors of the oil and gas sector industry in Nigeria, and we will continue to support all Nigerians across the board very, very robustly.
Also at the event, the Trade, Industry and Investment Minister, Mr. Segun Aganga, also stated that seplat's listing will ensure wealth creation as well as the diversification and deepening of the market and economy.
I'd like to encourage other companies to emulate what seplat have done. What they have not done easy. It's not easy at all in any way. I mean, they have assured. The first time I heard about seplat was when I was a guest speaker and award presenter for NCR when they won the Entrepreneur Company of the Year. And I heard so much about what they had done in terms of how they built the corporate governance culture, the management team and all that. And it's a big, big win for the country. And I think a lot of other countries to try and emulate what they have done, come to the stock market, raise capital, but at the same time, as you're raising capital, you're creating a new consumer group, you're helping your company and your company to grow, and of course, you're helping the economy overall. Finally, let me commend, it's not just about seplat. Seplat have done a terrific job, but we must commend the CEO of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, Oscar. He's been keeping my abreast and told me about this a long time. They have done a lot of hard work to get us to where we are today. Okay? At the time, there was a time when it was, oh, let's forget about the London Stock Exchange, let's focus on Nigeria and get it done. But the determination and the dedication of the chairman, the central team, and NSC, all that put together made this happen today. So I want to commend you, Oscar, and your team for a job well done. I also, of course, want to give a big thanks to Aruma. She has also been on top of this, and she's kept me posted all through the whole process. Overall, once again, you are the big guys. I want to say thank you to all of you, and congratulations to all of you as well. Thank you.
Speaking further on this listing, the Petroleum Minister, Mrs. Dizani Alison Madweke, Chairman of Seplat Petroleum Development Company, Dr. ABC Ojako, and the CEO of Seplat Petroleum Development Company, Mr. Austin Avuru, give further insight on the opportunities that come through this listing.
I do believe that this listing today on both the Nigerian Stock Exchange and also the London Stock Exchange of Seplat, which is one of the strongest indigenous companies we have in the industry, will herald and open the way for other Nigerian companies in the oil and gas sector to begin to prepare themselves the right quality and caliber for listing on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, and hopefully in the not too distant future also on prime stock exchanges or premium stock exchanges around the world, such as the London Stock Exchange that we're mentioning here today. So we are very, very pleased, and the government of President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan will continue to give very, very strong support to all our indigenous operators and marketers who have the wherewithal to come into this very, very tough sector and actually make a way for themselves and for others who will come behind them.
Once there is will, there will always be a way. I think the first step has been taken today. The process of the IPO was the book building process, and in that regard we targeted all the institutional investors we can find across the globe and the high net worth individuals. That has set the ball rolling. As the stock trades in the both exchanges, quite a number of Nigerians will have the opportunity to participate. And we believe that that time will not be too far from now.
Ours is a growth story. They should expect growth, and our growth is based on 3 possible planks, as I said. We will grow our existing asset, that's organic growth. We will continue to participate in acquisition opportunities, and we will expand our domestic gas business. On those 3 planks, you will expect growth, comprehensive growth from the company going